So I'm going to have to look up this Bruce Feldman column on the Athletics with the coaches. I'll have to pull that one up. I know what one of the questions brought this to mind. I think, maybe the poster child for this in recent years has been Justin Hilliard. Who do you guys see as a potential or a number of players that maybe have not reached their potential, have been on campus for a while, maybe headed toward a senior season, and could possibly salvage a career with a late run here, but have generally been a disappointment? Anybody come to mind?
I guess I'll jump in. You're pretty much describing the entire linebacker unit with that one. And not that they've been disappointments. They've just been behind guys who have started for 3 years. So you're looking at seniors and Dallas Gant, Taraji Mitchell. Taraji Mitchell came in as a 5-star by some accounts and has been behind Malik Harrison and Pete Werner and just hasn't had an opportunity and has played here and there. So maybe that's a guy. To compare somebody to Justin Hilliard, nobody has gone through what he has gone through, I think. So that one was a difficult one. Maybe Marcus Crowley would fit into that one, just missing an entire year. And but yeah, the linebackers are as a whole, somebody's going to step up and essentially come out of nowhere. And I think Craig Young is a possibility there, depending on how much they have him playing. I think he's an athletic guy who can do some things and make some plays. So that's one. Another one is going to be the opposite corner this spring. Somebody's going to come out of there, and maybe a redshirt freshman rather than like a fourth-year junior in Tyreek Johnson. But I think the linebackers are probably the area to watch for somebody to come out of nowhere.
I look at it. You've got 3 wide receivers on the roster: Jalen Harris, Elijah Gardner, and Cameron Babb. I think Babb would be a junior. The other 2 would be seniors, and none of them have really ever made a play yet in their time at Ohio State. A lot of it's due to injuries. Gardner was a down-the-line recruit and maybe a late take, like a January take or something, or a December take before that signing day. I don't remember exactly, but they're buried so far down the line. When you talk about Olave, Wilson, Williams, Scott, Smith-Njigba, Fleming, and then even Ballard, Harrison, and Igbuka. And then I come back to those 3 guys. And, some people, when the roster was released, like, why are they even still bothering? Because, Babb, to a degree, he's a little bit younger than the other 2, and I'm not trying to pile on them. I'm just giving them as an example of this is it. If you don't, make a play this year, you never will. So, Babb did get in there late in the season when he was finally healthy and for a few plays here and there, but not all that much. Didn't catch many passes. And so, there's 3 examples right there. On defense, I look at a guy like Jerron Cage at defensive tackle. They need some help at defensive tackle. And he was kind of third, out of, third at one position. Let's say he was 5th or 6th out of the whole group of defensive tackles last year. And then he moved up a little bit as, 1 or 2 of them couldn't play because of COVID or whatever. And he's made a play or 2 here or there, but never on anything on any kind of a consistent basis. So I want to see how he responds, obviously, when we get into this situation this spring and this fall. If Jerron Cage is going to be in that group, those linebackers you mentioned, Mitchell, Gant, and Pope, it's time, or you're going to get passed up. And, that's probably the ones that really stand out for me, guys who are in their 4th or 5th year on the roster, and it's time for them to pull it together.
I'll jump in on the linebackers really quick. And is it a matter that they weren't ready to play, or they just couldn't surpass the likes of Baron Browning and Pete Werner and Tuck Borland? I think we're gonna figure that out pretty quick here. I'll talk defensive line and guys that are playing but just haven't necessarily flashed. And I guess somebody who maybe was a little bit of a lower recruit compared to what Ohio State fans are used to, but maybe somebody like a Javonte Jean-Baptiste, could we see a larger role out of him? But I'll address the 5-star elephant in the room. this is the year for Zach Harrison to step up. And it's not that Zach Harrison hasn't made plays. It's just that Zach Harrison has not been the Zach Harrison that everybody seemed to think that was going to come out and be the next Bosa Young type player. And now you've got the next guy in the chute with Jack Sawyer. So it's going to really be a year for somebody like Zach Harrison to come up and have a big year. And I understand that I'm really getting away from the genesis of Mark's question of somebody who like Justin Hilliard, who really had not done much, whereas Zach Harrison has done a lot of things, but he certainly fits the DNA of somebody that is poised for that type of breakout year. And, if he has the kind of year that I think people are hoping he could, just based on him really, maybe having that light bulb moment or whatnot, it may make these previous couple of years look like nothing compared to what he could be in position to do.
Well, and staying with the defensive ends, Tyreek Smith is a senior. Tyler Friday is a senior. Tyreek Friday has 4 sacks to his credit in his career. And so these are guys that need to do more and have dropped some weight from last year, I think, in an effort to get to the quarterback. They're trying to find milliseconds of improvement on getting to the quarterback, whether it's dropping some weight to become faster, whether it's technique. And so those guys I would expect something from. Getting back to Cameron Babb, he is very similar to Justin Hilliard. I had forgotten about him, he's been injured his entire career, got to play last year, still looking for his first catch as a Buckeye. This is his 4th year. He's a top 100 player out of the 2018 class. Wyatt Davis has more catches as a Buckeye than Cameron Babb. So this is a guy who is and yet he's a leader in the room because they've seen the work that he's put in. I mean, he's relentless. And I think, 3 ACL tears in his time as a wide receiver, 2 at Ohio State, maybe 1 his senior year in high school, something like that. And so each year he loses a year on the field, and last year was his first time out there, didn't get a catch. But the fact that he's back and working again, that's a guy to watch. There's just so many receivers that it's going to be hard for anybody other than Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson to have more than 15 or 20 catches, I think.